Steph Curry just did something that sent both NBA Twitter and sneakerhead circles into a mini meltdown. During warmups, he laced up two truly iconic Air Jordans. Yes, Steph Curry, the face of Under Armour's Curry brand, stepped on the floor pregame in the most famous line from the swoosh universe. Tonight, I'm breaking down why this moment matters, what it says about player expression, how endorsements really work, what it means for sneaker culture, and what to watch next as the clips keep circulating. First, let's set the scene. Warm-ups are that 30 to 40-minute window where players loosen up, get shots up, and send a message without saying a word. Shoes are part of that message. Steph cycling through two stone-cold classics from the Jordan lineage is a statement on multiple levels. It's nostalgia, it's hoop heritage, and it's a reminder that even the most loyal signature athletes can tip their cap to the godfather of modern basketball footwear. Whether you're Team Under Armour, Team Nike, or Team whatever looks clean, you felt this one. Now, why does this hit different for Steph specifically? He's not just any sneaker endorser. He is a brand inside a brand. The Curry line has become its own ecosystem. Kids' sizes, colorways tied to personal milestones, performance tech that guards and shooters swear by. When a guy at that level pulls out Jordans, even in warm-ups, it crosses streams that usually stay separate. It's like a Michelin star chef walking into another chef's kitchen and saying, "Respect." It doesn't undo his own menu. It contextualizes it. Let's talk about the two pairs themselves without turning this into a detective thread. Fans instantly recognize them as top-tier Bros era-defining silhouettes, the kind of pairs you can spot from the nosebleeds. One nods to the patent leather, late 90s sheen that screams playoff memories and graduation photos. The other is that original high-top blueprint that writes basketball in all caps every time it hits the floor. Whether you collect, resell, or just rock what you like, those are the models you show your kids when you explain why a shoe can be bigger than a shoe. Here's the bigger question. Isn't this a contract conflict? The real answer lives in the fine print. Most signature deals center on game use, official appearances, and marketing assets. Warm-ups are still public, but they sit in a murkier zone where personal expression sometimes has a little more leeway, especially if the athlete isn't doing a sponsored photo shoot or in-game minutes in a competitor's product. There are teams of lawyers and brand managers who decide what's acceptable, and they communicate constantly with the player's camp. If it made the floor, odds are it was at least tacitly greenlit for that moment or considered low risk, especially if it's presented as a one-off tribute rather than a habit. On the NBA side, footwear rules have loosened dramatically over the last decade. Color restrictions used to be strict. Now variety is part of the entertainment. The league cares that the shoes are safe within uniform standards and don't contain prohibited messages. A player switching into something different for warm-ups is not a rules crisis. It's part of the show. The only people sweating are social media managers and brand reps calculating the impressions. Culturally, this is a crossover episode. The Jordan line is the sport's mythology. Curry is the modern engine of spacing, pace, and deep shooting that reshaped how the game is played. Seeing those worlds overlap is like watching two eras shake hands at half court. It reminds younger fans that today's stars grew up admiring the same posters, the same mixtapes, the same sneaker ads that turned gym floors into runways. It's a living genealogy moment. Without that lineage, there's no Curry range as a global aesthetic. From the performance angle, this is not Steph abandoning his own tech. There's a reason pros practice in one thing and compete in another. Warm-ups are light load, low risk, feel good. When the ball tips, stability, traction pattern, and familiar feel win. Expect him to be right back in his Curry brand pair for actual game minutes because rhythm and repetition are everything to an elite shooter. If anything, the warm-up move primes the pump. Vintage inspiration before modern execution. Let's hit the fan reaction. The sneaker community loves a moment that breaks the matrix, and this did it. Resale chatter goes up, old head swap stories, and every model comparison thread lights up. There's also the meta conversation. Can we just appreciate a player honoring the culture, or do we have to turn it into a loyalty test? The healthy take is appreciation. The unhealthy take is policing authenticity. Steph didn't signal disloyalty, he signaled literacy. He knows the language of basketball footwear, and he spoke it fluently for a few pregame minutes. From a marketing perspective, everybody wins in the short term. Under Armour gets a headline because their most famous athlete is trending, period. Jordan Brand gets free earned media because their icons continue to define what iconic looks like. The league gets juice because personality drives engagement, and Steph gets to be a curator as well as a creator. It's chess, not checkers, and the board is attention. What should we watch for next? 1. Does he repeat it, or was this a one-night tribute? 2. Does he address it directly? Maybe a quick nod about paying respect to classics? Steph's brand voice is usually steady, humble, and playful. A line like "had to show love to the culture" fits. 3. Do we see a Curry brand colorway that nods to those iconic palettes without copying them? That's the synergy move. Translate heritage into something new instead of living in the past. 4. Do other players follow suit in warm-ups, pulling beloved pairs outside their endorsement family? If that happens, you're witnessing a trend, not just a moment. For hoop purists, there's another layer. The greatest shooters are historians. They study footwork, balance, and rhythm across eras. Lacing up heritage pairs in warm-ups is almost like stepping into film study you can feel. The stiffness, the cut, the ride. Those differences are reminders of how far design has come and what still matters. A stable base, clean release, repeatable mechanics. If you've ever trained in an old pair just to recalibrate your fundamentals, you know the drill. Sometimes constraints sharpen your feel. Before we wrap, here's the real takeaway. What you saw wasn't brand chaos. It was a nod to a family tree. Basketball culture is allowed to be big enough to hold both a signature empire and the museum pieces that built the museum. When the ball went up, Steph was still Steph. The warm-ups just told a story on the way there. That's the breakdown. If you want more clear, fan-first coverage with zero fluff, do me a favor. Like this video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the Short Clips podcast. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.